for the Red Raiders. You've probably been in this position with a team that's young and small and undermanned. How do you approach a game like this?
Well, I think, Jerry, that you stress defense, defensive coverage in your own end, and you've got to watch that you don't give up, minimize the 3-on-2 rushes, and in your own end, don't get running around, play your position. If you get under pressure, dump it. Those are things that the coaching staff will tell Massena, this young Massena club. You know, they are definitely an underdog. I can't remember a game where I think one club or Massena has been such a definite underdog on their home ice as tonight against this defending state champion, the Williamsville North Spartans.
Of course, last year, ready to go, it's going to be Koval in the face-off circle. Out there against David Rogers, and we're underway. Off the draw, the puck picked up on the defense by Eric Bennett. He'll dump it in the Massena zone, in behind the net. Adler flips it ahead. Leiden steps in front, dumps it in behind. Danny Miller for Massena. Here's Miller coming out on the left side. He'll flip it ahead, out the center ice, knocked down on the defense by Bennett again. Right back in Massena territory it goes, where Jake Whitcup picks it up. Whitcup in behind, looking. Headman pass, poke check to the blue line, kept it at point. And here's a shot, and the save made. Leroy Swamp, who's starting in nets for Massena, gets first save of the game. Raiders clear it out to center ice. Walzer picks it up there for North, flips it right back in, shot, save made. Raiders will pick up the loose puck, flip it ahead as Williamsville North makes a change. Here's Dunn with it on defense from center ice. His shot is gloved by Leroy Swamp, and he's going to hold on for the faceoff with a couple of North players skating in. 14-12 left in the first period. We're just underway here. No score on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. We've got, I think, Ryan Geary, Justin Cochin, and Kenny Joseph out there, if what he gave me is correct, and I think it is. Back to the point. Here's a shot deflected in front, then they score a goal on the backhand, as getting the goal will be Justin Cochin. As the shot came, Leroy Swamp made the save, but nobody there to clear the rebound, and Cochin was wide open, had a wide open net.
He was wide open. I think the shot came from number 22 back in the point. Nathan Ruckteschel will pick up one assist. Low shot, Leroy Swamp made the save. The rebound kicked out to his right, and as you mentioned, number 20, Justin Cochin right there, and he just backhanded it, had the wide open net.
Off the face-off, it's Thomas out there for Massena, Trent Thomas, with, let's see here, Adam Smith and Jared Bradish. Here comes Williamsville North. Cochin will dump it inside, in behind the net. Here's a short side shot. Swamp will make the save. Racing in was Kenny Joseph, and he didn't really have much net to shoot at, and just put a bouncer on goaltender Swamp, and he makes the save.
What I like, if you saw right there, Jerry, they didn't have, the forward didn't have a chance to pass them, so he just got it deep in the zone, let the guy on the far side streak in there, and they got a shot on goal instead of losing it at the blue line.
Off the face-off, Dan Miller with the puck. He'll backhand it to Jake Whitcup. Whitcup picks it out of the corner, looks ahead, has it knocked away, has to come back for it. He'll flip over on the other side to Miller. Miller looks up ice, and out to center ice it goes. Ruckteschel flips it back. It's intercepted. Miller, headman pass, almost broke through. Now it's dumped into the neutral zone. Picked up by Danny Miller at his own blue line. He clears it. Back in again and off sides on Williamsville North. 13:25 left, 1-0 North, as we're just underway here in the hockey game. An early goal by Williamsville gives them the lead.
1.5 minutes, 6 shots to 0, and that goal, Kocher from Ruckteschel and Joseph at the 54-second mark.
Off the draw, puck cleared out to the neutral zone, and here comes Massena breaking in. It's Eddie Slade gets a shot right on, and the save made by Robbie Elmer. Puck picked up on the rebound, and out to center ice it comes. And down the ice, it's Nigro. He flips it head back in, back out, and off sides will be the call.
Raiders taking on, as Jerry mentioned, Williamsville South. The Billy Goats will be here tomorrow afternoon. Both these clubs from the Amherst area of Buffalo play at the Pepsi Center.
Off the face-off. Puck trickles across the blue line out to the neutral zone. Massena trying to break it free. And right back the other way. It's dumped into the Massena zone. Backhanded back out to center ice by Dave Rogers. Back to the Massena line, and in the corner it goes, as Evan Labarge couldn't stop it. Back after it is Pat Horan. In the corner, it's intercepted by Koshansky. He moves it ahead, has it taken away, and back comes Rogers from Massena. He'll just flip it. Dunn trying to keep it in, he can't. Massena breaks it out. Down the left wing side, it's Sean Petrie, and he'll just backhand it in the zone, and back after it, the Dotson, the forward. Back it goes in the corner. Defenseman Bennett back to pick it up for North. Almost stolen away by Petrie. Gets it back again. Back to the point. Horan keeps it in. Takes a check, but it's knocked away. And it's bounced all the way down the ice. Going to roll. Well, it hit the side of the net, so icing is waved off. And the Raiders come back to pick it up. Patrick Horan looks on the wing. Dumps it all the way down, and nobody touched it. So icing will be the call on Massena and move the puck back in their zone. 12:03 left. First period. IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard reads 1-0 Williamsville North.
Two schools of thought on scoring early. You know, you get off to an early start, demoralizing the opposition. The other schools of thought, team scores early, they figure it's going to be easy, and they kind of lay back off. But I'd go with the former.
You'd rather score first
early.
And early. Here comes Massena breaking out of the zone. Headman pass goes to Adam Smith. He'll just dump it in the corner. Williamsville North zone in behind the net. Ruck Daschel. He's checked. The puck squirts free. Smith centering pass hits the side of the net, and Rob Elmer is going to cover up and hold on for the face-off.
That line of Trent Thomas, Smith, and Bradish out there had a good performance the other night against St. Lawrence Central. And that time, Adam Smith dug it out at the corner and jammed it to the front of the net.
Off the face-off, puck bouncing around. Finally, it's picked up by North. They clear to the blue line. Whitcup, his shot misses, like way wide. Puck back toward the blue line. It's dumped by Williamsville North. Will not go far enough for icing. There's a foot race for it. Whitcup gets back, picks it up. He's ridden hard into the boards. Where's the puck? In behind the net. Here's a wraparound attempt. Save made by Swamp. Raiders pick it up. And Jared Bradish. Nice headman pass. Poke checked ahead by Adam Smith. Picked up on the defense by Ruck Daschel. He'll flip to Dunn on the other side. Dunn busts from center ice. Dumps it deep in Massena's zone. Back after it. Here comes Evan Labarge as North makes a change. Labarge skates it ahead. Clears it down the left wing side to Jared Lanning. Knocked away from him. Back in Massena territory. Busting in the zone, and finally it's knocked away. Picked up by Whitcup. Whitcup flips ahead, not out of the zone. Here's a shot. It's fanned on, but the puck doesn't clear. Dumped into the open corner. Labarge is there to pick it up for Massena. He'll just bank it out to center ice. Dunn gathers it in at his own blue line for North. Flipping it ahead to Joseph. Here's Joseph for the North team. He tries to step by the check. Gets by one. Takes it across. Flips it ahead. Here's an opportunity. Short side shot. Save made. Swamp. Puck bounces in behind. And the Raiders pick it up again. Nice move by Evan Labarge. He'll go on the other side for Horan. But Horan's pretty well tied up by Cochin. The puck bounces free. Picked up there by Kenny Joseph. Looks to center. In front the shot. Save made. Rebound. Here's another shot. Goes wide in the corner. Bouncing around. Labarge trying to fish it out of there. But it's knocked away. There's a battle in behind the net. Eddie Slade is there trying to put some lumber on. Back to the point. Here's a shot. And the save made by Swamp. Kyle Cameron picks it up, shovels it back to the blue line and out to center ice. Dunn dumps it back in the zone. We got a delay off sides, but Williamsville North clears. The Raiders dump it out to center ice where Dunn knocks it down. Massena wants a line change. They'll dump it right back in. That's Williamsville North. Leroy gloves it, leaves it for Evan Labarge. Makes a step, basks the forward, and dumps it down the ice. That's going to roll right in on Robbie Elmer, and he's going to cover up and hold on for the faceoff as he had Massena forward rushing in on him. That was Sean Petrie.
Raiders caught a break that time. The weak side Williamsville forward all alone in the slot, and the weak side forward has to step back and pick him up. He didn't. He stayed about 10 feet off him and gave him a great opportunity.
Off the draw, puck goes in the corner. Back to the blue line. Raiders have it. Here's Miller, cranks it up, can't get the shot off, and it's knocked away, and out to center ice it goes. Back checking is Petrie. Takes a whack at nice play. And back comes Massena's Rogers the other way. Rogers takes it across, gets a shot off. It's blocked by the defenseman. Puck cleared around the boards by North. It's going to go all the way down the ice, and icing will be the call against Williamsville North. 9:21 left first period. 1-0. The Spartans lead Massena.
And have a good edge in territorial play.
Yeah.
Outshooting the Raiders at this stage of the first period. 11-3, and outscored them 1-0.
Face-off will be right side, inside Spartans territory. David Rogers out there with his line mates Jeremy Hadler and Sean Petrie. Off the draw. Rogers wins the face-off. Petrie in the corner, steps by the check. He's got room, centers it, hit the side of the net with it. He had Hadler. Hadler takes it in behind, looks to center, hit the side of the net with it. Both Petrie and Hadler behind the net. Here's a wraparound attempt, but it's knocked down, and right back comes Williamsville North out to center ice. Dumping in the Massena zone it goes. Racing in after it, Ian Maxwell. Maxwell bangs it ahead, and down the ice it'll roll. I don't think it'll go far enough for icing. It's going to die before it crosses the red line. As the defenseman comes back to pick it up, that's Eric Bennett for the Spartans. Bennett has it poke checked away, then dumps it down the ice. They're going to wave that off for some reason. And racing back after it is Alan Borden from Massena. Looks on the wing. The puck knocked away. Here's a chance in front, but again it's knocked away by the Massena defense, Borden. Now it's flipped around on the other side as Koval gets tied up by Whitcup. The puck squirts free right in the slot. Here's a shot. Save made and a good one. As that was kind of a seeing eye shot that got through. Now Borden poke checks it ahead. Raiders break it ahead, not out of the zone. Bounces in behind the net. On the other side is Ian Maxwell. Maxwell is going to leave it as the forward coming back is Adam Smith, and he'll skate it ahead. His pass just up across the blue line, back in the zone, but it's Bradish coming back with it. Bradish's pass knocked down, knocked away again, but Bradish will pick it up. Backhand pass intercepted at the Spartan blue line. They'll turn it around the other way, and back come the Spartans. Walzer in the zone, dumps it behind the net. Labarge there has it poked away. Here's a chance in behind. They move it around the horn. Koval back to Walzer in front. Pass the shot. I don't know if it got through or not, but it bounces behind the net. Nobody there for Massena to pick it up as they move it around the horn. They'll go back to the point with it. Here's a drive from the point, shot, and the save made by Massena goaltender Leroy Swamp. He's going to see a lot of rubber tonight. Puck still controlled behind the net by Williamsville North as they look like they're on the power play right now. Here's a pass in front, deflected back toward the blue line. Koval back to Newton at the point. He'll dump it around the boards in the corner. Raiders need a whistle badly, and they're not going to get one just yet. Trying to tie it up. The puck, that's Cameron, slides it free and finally moves it ahead, and still not out of the zone. Cameron picks it up, dumps it, and it'll finally get out to center ice, where Newton will dump it back in the Massena zone. So the Raiders pin back in their own zone. Bouncing in behind. Trying to come up with it. Massena moving it behind the net. It'll go off to Cameron. Cameron steps by a check. He'll dump it right back into Pat Horan. Horan knocked free behind the net. They try to wrap around, attempt backhand shot is short. In behind it bounces. Side of the net. Moving around. Controlled by Joseph now for Williamsville North. He gets tied up. Knocked down. Slade has it momentarily. Now finally it's flipped free. Back toward the blue line. Dumped right back in the zone. Patrick Horan after it. Horan has it knocked away, but Slade is there to flip it ahead to Kyle Cameron. Doesn't get to him. Done shot. Deflected. Here's another chance. Shot up over the net. Bouncing around in behind. Picked up by the Raiders. They try to clear the zone, and they're just not able to do it. Bouncing around. Finally, Evan Labarge comes up with it. He'll dump it ahead, and down the ice it goes. Here comes Massena's Eddie Slade into the zone, trying to come up with a puck in front of the net. It rolls right on, and it's poke checked away. There's going to be a whistle and a penalty, and there's going to be an interference call against the Spartans.
I tell you, that was one sustained effort by the Spartans as they had Massena bottled up in their own end for a good minute and a half, if not longer, and finally they were able to dump it out, and Jared Lanning racing down that left side was the first one to get to it, and he was interfered with by number 21, Bennett, as you said, and Raiders will go on a power play, but I tell you, Leroy's going to have a lot of rubber tonight, but he's got to do a good job controlling those rebounds. He can't give those big rebounds out.
Raiders control the face-off. Evan Labarge at the point. Fakes a shot, goes back to Miller. Miller flips it in the corner. Trying to get it back again. That's Slade, has it knocked away. Now Slade picks it up. Back to the blue line, kept in. Miller, yes he does. Miller still has it, battles for it, flips it in behind the net. It'll go around on the other side to Sean Petrie. Petrie will drop it, but back it goes and down the ice it goes. Into the Massena zone, there's a foot race for it. Miller, does he get back there? No, it's going to be Rogers who throws the puck away. Fortunately, Miller was back to cover up, and the Raiders will move it ahead, and they can't seem to find a handle of that puck. Here's Rogers, flipping it ahead, across the blue line. Shot dumped in the corner. Battling for it, the Raiders trying to come up with it. Comes back to Miller at the point. Miller flips it, has it knocked away. Gets to Rogers, though. Here's Rogers stick handling. Passes side of the net. Shot up over the net. Great opportunity there for the Red Raiders, Trent Thomas, as he was free to the stick side, the right side of the goaltender, but he fired up over the net.
Excellent job by David Rogers, keeping the puck in high out at the blue line, then working himself down low about the hash marks, and he found Trent Thomas all alone to the right of the Williamsville goaltender. Got him the pass, and Thomas fired it over the top of the net.
Koval to take the face-off, wins the draw, then loses it. Raiders back the other way. Evan Labarge. Labarge at the red line. He'll just dump it inside Williamsville territory. Racing in there is Jared Bradish along the boards. About 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Bradish to Miller, steps in front, takes it behind. Here's Miller. He's got room, fires it. Here's a shot. Now Slade trying to get it back to the point, keeps it in the zone momentarily. It's still in the zone. Here's a shot by Bradish. Knocked away. Bradish gets it back again. Finally, it's dumped and cleared out to the neutral zone. It'll trickle into the Massena zone. That'll take care of the power play, but not a bad power play for Massena.
No, that wasn't a bad power play. Had a couple of good opportunities, Slade and Bradish.
Off the face-off, the puck back inside Massena zone. Here's Miller with it. Danny Miller flips on the wing. They don't clear the zone, however. Puck dumped right on. In the corner, Labarge with it has his pocket picked behind the net, but then gets it back again. Flips it ahead to Bradish. Jared Bradish looks. He's going to carry, and he'll try to dump it ahead to Slade, but it's deflected, and it goes back to the Massena line. Uh-oh. That could have been a too many men penalty, but they didn't call it, fortunately for the Raiders. Now the puck in the zone. Here comes Massena's David Rogers. Drop pass and a nice one, but Petrie couldn't put a stick on it, but it goes back to the point. Here's a shot. Whitcomb shot right on. Good save. Rebound. Shot. Good save. Oh, two great saves by goaltender Robbie Elmer. Keep Massena off the scoreboard.
First one was a great save through traffic, left pad toe, and then the rebound coming right out to Sean Petrie on the backhand, and he wanted to go up high, didn't get enough on it, and Elmer coming up with a left hand. Two excellent saves by goaltender Rob Elmer.
Two good chances for Massena. David Rogers will take the face-off against Ryan Gary. Left side of Elmer. Puck in behind the net. Bouncing around into the corner it goes. As the Spartans, no, it's stolen. Here's Petrie, stick handling knocked away. Back the other way come the Spartans as they move out to center ice. And they just come in mass into the Massena zone, dropping it back to the point, then dumped into the open corner. Raiders just can't quite come up with a puck. They have trouble in their own end and kind of bunch up, and it's just it's tough to handle these forwards.
We'll talk about it in the next break.
We're still they battle for it in the corner, but it's tied up there. It's still 1-0 on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard with 3:05 left in the first.
What they're doing, they're just dumping the puck in and getting it in deep and almost beating the Raider defenseman to the puck. And then if they don't beat him, they're right on top of him. They muscle him off the puck and gain control, and then they take it from there.
Off the face-off, they win the draw. Here's a shot, goes in behind the net. Bouncing puck side of the net. Here's another shot. Leroy makes the save. Puck in the corner. Miller throws a check. Bouncing puck in behind. Here's Danny Miller with it. He'll flip it ahead. Comes to Cameron. Cameron clears it out to center ice. Geary's there to dump it back in the Massena zone. Maxwell picking it up, flipping it ahead. Not out of the zone. Kept in there. Here's a shot gloved by Leroy Swamp, and he'll hold on. I'll tell you, if you want to tell these kids, if you're going to clear it, make sure you get some stick on the rubber.
That's exactly right there. They're deep in their own end. They need a change, and the Raider defenseman, instead of just reefing it off the glass or off the board or flipping it up, he just kind of babies it back to the point, and the guy with the green shirt's there.
Off the face-off, puck in the circle. Raiders try to move it ahead. Lanning backhands it, and it'll trickle inside to Kevin Dunn in his own end for the Spartans. Kevin Dunn picks it up, has it stolen away there by Adam Smith. Now the puck comes free to Jared Bradish. Bradish and Smith, there's going to be another penalty on the Spartans. And the shot from the corner by Smith. And that's going to be a tripping call against who? So the Raiders will go back on the power play here with 2:20 left in the first period.
Is that going to be Bennett? I can't pick up the numbers. Coming
21.
Yeah, that is Eric Bennett, their big defenseman. What a shot this guy has. He's the leader back on the defense, but he's got an awesome shot. That time he hacked the Massena forward. And Massena back on the power play. They were 1 for 17 coming into tonight's game, and after the first one, 1 for 18, but they did have some good scoring opportunities.
David Rogers back out there off the draw. He wins it back to the point. Miller cranks it up, shot high over the net. Back to the other point. Evan Labarge keeps it in, flips it in the corner. It comes to Rogers. Rogers trying to center, but it's knocked away. Goes in behind the net. Where is it? Oh, it was in the player's equipment. It dropped right in front of the goalie, and the whistle blew, though, so no play there.
That's the Rogers, Thomas, Petrie up front, and Labarge and Miller on the points on the power play.
Raiders win the draw. Puck goes in behind the net. After it is Petrie. Petrie. And Slade, short side shot. Good save again. And finally, Williamsville will dump it down the ice. Another good opportunity for Massena. Miller with a puck behind his own net. Steps by the check and starts out. Danny Miller head of steam. He'll flip it ahead. Raiders move it. Trent Thomas. Here's Thomas with Petrie. Takes it across. He's got room. His shot. Save made. Rebound. Thomas picks it up. He'll go back to the point. Evan LaBarge to Miller. Miller trying to couldn't get it. Now he's got it. Here's Miller. He'll flip it in the corner. Sean Petrie. Petrie gets knocked down. The puck comes free. Rogers back to Miller. Miller flips in the corner. Petrie. Here's Petrie looking. Has it tied up, then dumps it in behind Trent Thomas. Thomas has got room, centers it. Here's Rogers banging at it, can't come up with it. Finally, it's poked free. Back toward the blue line. Miller steps by the check, steps by the other check. He gets knocked down, gets back up. There's going to be a penalty. He'll flip it to Thomas. Thomas back to the point. Here's the shot. LaBarge, the puck doesn't get through, bouncing around in front. And finally, North will tie it up and hold on for the face-off. So the Raiders will have a two-man advantage for 14 seconds.
Kevin Dunn is going to get the penalty as he upended the Raider forward behind the net. He reached, got by him, and Dunn just
actually with Danny Miller
swept his feet out from under him.
So the Raiders with a 14-second two-man advantage. With 1:04 left in the first period, trailing 1-0 to Williamsville North on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. Eddie Slade will take the face-off. Trying to get the shot off the draw. He wins it back to the point. It'll go back to Jake Whitcup. Whitcup goes to Slade. 5 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Into Kyle Cameron. Has it knocked away. Comes back to the point. Here's Evan LaBarge flipping it in the corner. They get a man back. Puck goes in behind the net. It's tied up there. Cameron comes in, tries to fish it free. Battling for it there also is Jared Bradish. And finally Cameron comes up with it. Flips it back to the point, but it's knocked away and dumped down the ice. About 30 seconds left in the period. Swamp comes out of the net to play it, goes all the way back to the point, out of the zone, not quite, now it's out of the zone, but it's intercepted and dumped right back in Massena territory. In behind the net, Evan LaBarge makes a nice move and starts out for Massena. He'll bank it ahead. They try to hit the home run, almost got it. Trent Thomas after it, he battles for it, knocked away, and LaBarge can't keep it in. About 6 seconds left in the period. Miller, ahead it goes. There's going to be probably no opportunity here. Here's Thomas, and he didn't get the shot off before the buzzer. But we are through one period of play here, and a 1-0 lead for Williamsville North, except maybe Maine.
Right, exactly.
Way up in the hinterlands of Orono. Well, we're underway here. Raiders have about 20 seconds of power play, but back comes Williamsville North as they break in 2-on-1. They got a man free. He's going to score, and that'll be a shorthanded goal. And I'm not exactly sure. The Massena defenseman, I thought, had an opportunity to get the puck and elected to back off. And as a result, 2-on-1. And Williamsville North will get another goal in the first minute of the period and go up 2-0.
You're absolutely right, Jerry. The Massena defenseman did have a chance to get that puck. He elected to back off, and it created a 2-on-1. And Kenny Joseph, number 17, is going to get the goal. Great pass from Ryan Covell on a 2-on-1. Covell set him in free right from just about the top of the left face-off circle, and he put a nice move on Leroy Swamp, and Leroy had no chance. Short-handed goal.
I think that's the first one they've given up this year.
It is.
Miller with a puck to Whitcup, back to Miller. He'll flip it ahead, and Rogers will dump in the zone. Trying to pick it up is Sean Petrie in behind the net. Petrie is ridden into the boards by the defenseman as they get their man back. Petrie, now Rogers along the boards to Petrie. Petrie gets tied up, the puck squirts free, and it's dumped into the Massena zone. Miller back to pick it up, he'll flip it ahead. Trent Thomas slides it. Petrie will dump as he wants off, and the Spartans will pick it up behind their own net. That's Kevin Dunn, moves it ahead. And into the zone, Joseph. He's upended, the puck bounces free out to center ice, back across to lay off sides. Puck clear to the neutral zone, bouncing around right at the red line. Finally, it's picked up there by Kenny Joseph to the Massena line, intercepted Miller. Danny Miller, he's going to flip it off a stick, chase it down himself inside Spartan territory. Here's Miller in behind the net. He'll drop it. Eddie Slade. Slade will try to pass it into the corner, have to chase it down himself. He'll kick it back toward the blue line. Kept in by Pat Horan. He'll dump it, but it's intercepted. Now Slade trying to do some damage in the corner along with Cameron. They battle for it behind the net. Slade throws a check, but the puck squirts free, and it's going to be picked up there by the Williamsville D, and they'll flip it up into the stands, and the face-off will come. That was Geary with it. 13:26, 2-0 now on the Coach's Corner scoreboard for Williamsville North.
You give up those short-handed goals. That one coming at the 13-second mark, but it just sticks a dagger in the heart. You played so well in that first period. You start the second period on the power play, and you give one up in 13 seconds. It's tough.
Trent Thomas will take the face-off, top of the circle inside Williamsville North territory. The Spartans win the draw and clear it out to center ice. Pat Horan's there to flip it, open wing. Picked up there by Lanning. He looks for the open man on the right side. Here's the drive. Smith right on. And the save is made by Robbie Elmer, and he'll hold on for the face-off.
Nice pass. Jared Bradish along Adam Smith on that right side, and Smith about a 45-footer, but Elmer had no problem holding that for the face-off.
Trent Thomas out there to take the draw. Off the face-off, a bouncer. Oh, and I'll tell you what, Smith just got railed. And a perfectly legal check. Here comes Covell into the zone. Gets by the back checking forward, tries to center, but it's behind the pass, and Raiders pick it up and flip it ahead. Here's the headman. They got a man breaking, but he can't quite gather the puck in. Jared Brash, now he steals it, slides it right on. The rebound sits in front. It's poke checked away into the slot. There's a battle for it there. Where's the puck? Clear to the blue line, not out, kept in. Raiders have it. Here's a chance in front. The shot, Smith. There's going to be a penalty as Massena's Bradish got railed, and we'll have, I think, another Massena power play.
Yes, we will. It's going to be 22, and I do believe 22 is going to go to the box. We'll wait and see with the call. It's going to go against Williamsville North. 22 doesn't want to come, but he's going to finger.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
what?
Oh, I thought it was 22 from
that I didn't see that one.
I didn't either. 22 is coming over.
What's the call? Elbow. Oh, it's going to be matching?
I didn't see the Massena one.
Okay, it is 22. You were right, Coach.
Yeah, that's Ruckdashell. He's the guy that just laid a lick on Adam Smith a second ago. Got Smith with his head down and picked him right up, body parallel to the ice. But who's the Massena?
Adam. Must be Adam retaliated.
I didn't see the retaliation, but I know he got drilled by Ruckdashell prior to that.
Yep. Yeah, that was a legal check. Yes, it was. 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders. Puck in the north zone. Here's Danny Miller. Steps in front. Can't get the shot off. Has it knocked away. It'll bounce down the ice, and icing will be the call against Williamsville North. And Danny Miller found himself in possession of the puck side of the net and stepped right across the crease, but lost it. I think it was poked away.
With that great speed of his and puck handling ability, Miller, he likes to scoot along those boards, especially on that left side, and then looks like he's going to go behind the net, and he just darts right out on that short side.
Face off left side. In Williamsville territory, Raiders win the draw. It comes to Whitcup. His shot is gloved by Elmer, and got to keep those on the ice.
Yeah, good draw. Jacob didn't. He lost control of it initially before he was going to tee it up. Good draw by David Rogers, and Jacob Whitcup had a good opportunity, but he just couldn't find the handle initially. But when he did, the goalie was in good position.
Ryan Covell will take the face-off now against Rogers. Face-off left side, off the draw. The puck goes right across the crease, but nobody's going to control it from Massena. Cleared back to the blue line and out to center ice. Miller, he'll drop it over on the other side to Whitcup. Whitcup can't control it. It's intercepted in behind the net in the Massena zone. Now it's controlled by Bennett. His shot is blocked, comes back to the other point. Here's Dunn's shot, save made by Leroy Swamp. Comes to Rogers, takes a whack at it, doesn't clear it. Dunn again. His shot, he fires it wide. Puck around the boards. Bennett keeps it in. Dumps it behind the net. Miller loses side of the net. Here's a short side shot, save made. Rebound, another shot, and this time Leroy makes the save and holds on.
I tell you, we talked about Bennett having a cannon back there. Well, that number 3, Kevin Dunn, is no slouch. He also has a cannon, and he had about 4 whacks at that and got 3 of them on the net. And finally, Leroy said, enough of that. I better hold on to this one, get a face-off.
It's going to be A.J. Tubolino getting his first shift as he takes the face-off. Doesn't clear the zone with it, but it's picked up by Hadler. Hadler looks. He's got Tubolino, but it hits him in the back. Wanzer picks it up, goes back the other way, gets by the D. He steps in front. Big save, but it's in the net on the rebound. Leroy made a great save, but following up on the play, it's going to be, I believe, Ryan Covell getting the goal, his second of the game.
Beautiful move by Walzer as he came down that left side and just danced right around the Raider forward and just cut right in. A great save by goaltender Leroy Swamp, but he was looking for the puck and it was behind him sitting on the blue ice, and I do believe it was Covell. I agree with you, Jerry, that came in and picked up the rebound and tucked it in the open net.
That'll make it 3-0 in favor of Williamsville North on the coach's corner scoreboard. Off the draw. Here comes Lydon now for North. He'll take it in. Drops it. Covell steps and then lost his edge, but still keeps the puck. Covell drops it back to the point, but it's knocked away by Hadler, and Hadler will stop. He's got a man breaking. Tubolino, but he's not going to catch that one as Hadler put too much on it, and icing will be the call on Massena. Had he been able to gather that in, he might have had a break.
At the third Williamsville North goal, the 4:28 mark, Ryan Covell from Tyler Walzer. We'll see if there's any more assist on it, but I don't think so. We'll wait and see.
1 second left on the matching minor penalties. 3-0 in favor of Williamsville North. So that was a 4-on-4 goal. Off the draw, Raiders win the faceoff. Whitcup over on the other side to Miller. Miller looks up ice, clears it, out to center ice. Here comes Kyle Cameron. Cameron cuts right across the middle, gets a shot off. It's blocked. Back the other way comes Willie North, but they don't clear the zone. Here's Kyle Cameron again. Nice pass. Here's a chance in front for Slade. Passes. Oh! And Miller, or I should say Tubolino, headed for the net. Couldn't put a stick on the bouncer. Good opportunity for Massena. Good heads-up play by Slade. Miller with a puck, flips it along the boards, and out to center ice it goes. Dumped right back in by Ruck Daschel, in behind the net. After it is Jake Whitcup again. He draws a crowd, flips it along the boards, back to the point. Here's a shot. Leroy makes the save. Puck goes in the corner. Back to the blue line, kept in by Dunn. He feeds it to the 45, back to Ruck Daschel. He winds through traffic, it's blocked. Puck in the corner, there's a battle for it, and Slade picks it up. Eddie Slade with a puck. Raiders dodged a penalty there, and they move it to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Here's a chance in front. Walzer gets a shot off. Backhander, glove save made by goaltender Leroy Swamp.
And Leroy again elected reading the traffic in front and around. Raiders running all over the place. We need a face-off, and he probably wishes he would have done that the other night on hell out of that one.
Boy.
I'm sure.
In the OT?
I'm sure the coaching staff mentioned that to him, and so it's a learning experience.
Geary out there to take the face-off against Trent Thomas. Raiders win the draw. And the puck stolen away in front. Here's the shot. Leroy makes the save. Rebound bounces out to center ice. The Massena defenseman just coughed it up right behind the net. It goes right in the slot, and they got a great shot. Evan Labarge winds up. His shot goes off a stick into the corner. Racing in after Jared Bradish back to the point. Smith gets a piece of it, but it's knocked away. They got a man breaking free. It's going to be Kenny Joseph. He steps in there, gets a shot off. Glove save. Swamp holds on for the face-off. And these guys are quick.
Leroy Swamp has given up 3, but he's saved another 10. I'll tell you, he's made some spectacular saves. And just a moment ago, that was a nice save there. The one prior to that was outstanding as he got that left pad out there. He's being kept busy tonight. Let's see unofficially shots this period. Sal has it 9-3.
Off the face. Puck in behind the net. Pat Horan with it. Gets tied up. There's a battle. Bounces in front. Another backhander side of the net. Where is it? It's free into the corner. Back to the point again. Bennett moves it D to D. Here's a drive from the point. Bounces high over the net. Picked up there. Kenny Joseph after it. Joseph back to Bennett. His shot deflected right on, but the save made. Back to the blue line. Bouncing in front. Goes in behind the net. They move it free. Around the boards. In the corner. Right in front. Ooh, just wide of the net on the deflection. Back around in front. And finally, Raiders will come up with it and don't clear the zone. An opportunity to clear the zone, and they just didn't. Labarge with it. Finally, he'll flip it ahead to the blue line. And again, yeah, that time it does get out of the zone.
And they just, Massena's defense cannot handle those green shirts down low. They're, at that time, took both Massena defensemen trying to move the forward out of there. And he had effectively 2 of them tied up, and the other 2 green shirts were just roving and moving through that slot area at will.
It'll be, let's see here, Brett Comm taking the face-off. No, excuse me, that was Nigro. Off the draw, dumped in behind the net. Left by Leroy Swamp. Flipped around to Miller it goes. Miller looks, bouncing it ahead, doesn't clear. Bennett with it. Gets a shot up, but it's deflected off a stick up into the wall. And we'll have a face-off. Probably top of the circle, left side. 8:27 left in the middle period. It's 3-0, Williamsville North on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
Mentioned that this club is defending state champion and won the state championship twice in the last 4 years, and we're in the Final Four all 4 of the 4 times in the last 4 years.
And I see a lot of returnees from last year's championship squad. So they're going to be in the hunt again this year, no doubt about it. Here's Danny Miller. Oh, he has the puck bounce away. but he gets it back again. Here comes Miller, building up the head of steam. Miller takes it down the left wing side, gets a shot off, save made, and holding on for the faceoff is goaltender Robbie Elmer.
And when Elmer hasn't...
Another penalty there as the Massena player busting in on the right wing side. That was Jared Lanning. And the Williamsville North player just got his stick up in his face.
That's Ruckteschel again, going to pick up another penalty. They're both going to go, I guess. That's going to be Danny Miller, and they're each going to go. That's how many for Ruckteschel, Sal? Well, that's at least 2 for him, isn't it? Number 22.
8:12 left in the second period. 3-0 Williamsville North leading Massena on the coach's corner scoreboard.
They scored on that last 4-on-4 situation.
They did.
A lot of speed, you mentioned, Jerry. They do have a lot of speed. That means more open ice. When you've got that speed, it's to their advantage.
Walls are out there to take the face-off. They haven't gotten down into third and fourth line very often yet in this game. Raiders try to keep it in the zone. Oh, here we go again. Walzer busts through. He takes it in front, shot, scores a goal.
We talked about speed. It was evident right there. The face-off inside the Massena zone came back to the point, bouncing, and the Raider defenseman couldn't keep it in, and Walzer picked it up, and he was around in about 2 steps around the defenseman and streaking down that left side, the same move he put on before, and this time he scored. He came in on that left side, came across, and got the goaltender down, outweighted him, and then just flipped it up in the empty net.
So it's now 4-0, and here they come again. Backhanded in the zone, inside Massena territory, behind the net. And it bounces along the boards. Tubolino trying to come up with it. Throws a check. The puck comes free, and the Raiders pick it up and break out of the zone. Headman dumped ahead by Horan. Back in Williamsville territory. They'll flip it to the Massena line. Evan Labarge is there, knocked away from him. And the bouncer right back in Massena territory. In behind the net, it'll be Evan Labarge picking it up for Massena. Picks up a couple of forecheckers, but pokes it ahead, not out of the zone. Dumped right back in the corner. In behind the net is Leiden, who gets tied up, and the Raiders pick up the loose puck, Labarge. He'll just flip it high in the air out to the neutral zone. Bouncing around, Slade comes up with it. He'll just slide it in the corner and wants off as Williamsville back to pick it up. About 20 seconds left in the matching minor penalties. Puck goes back to the Massena line. Alan Borden trying to move it ahead out of the zone. Coming back to help out is Rogers. Rogers right in front of his own net, but he'll skate it ahead. Flips it. Petrie and Rogers breaking in the zone. Petrie goes by the defenseman. Here's Petrie in the corner. He loses it at the end of his rush. The puck clear to the blue line. Matching penalties up. Here's Jake Whitcup. He'll just backhand it in the corner. Puck in behind the net. Picked up. Alan Borden, can he keep it in? No, he doesn't. Out to center ice. And here they come again. Here's Covell, but offsides will be the call, as breaking in on the right side is Ryan Leiden, and he's called for the offside.
Would have been a good 3-on-1 for the Spartans, but as you mentioned, Leiden on that right side was about a half a stride just in over the blue line. Face-off outside the Massena blue line, 4-0 Williamsville North, 6:27 left in the second period.
Rogers out to take the draw. Off the face-off, it'll be dumped deep in Massena territory. In behind the net, it'll come to Petrie. Petrie is ridden hard into the boards. The puck squirts free. Rogers stays with a man. It goes back to the point. Here's a shot through traffic. Save made. Puck in the corner. They'll dump it and shift it around. Miller throws a check. Bouncing puck. They center it, but it's going to bounce all the way back to the blue line. Poke check ahead out to center ice. A big collision there, and as it's dumped back in the Massena zone, and Leroy's going to cover up and hold on for the faceoff.
Well, the Raiders felt there was an interference call right there. Number 21, Bennett. The Massena dumped the puck off the boards that was going to be behind Bennett, and the Raider forward was going to, he had his full head of steam, and he was going to beat Bennett to the puck, around the puck, and Bennett gave him a shot. But in the eyes of the official, he felt that maybe the Massena forward had touched the puck. I didn't think he had.
There's the third line. First time in a while we've seen them. Off the draw, the puck goes in the corner. Picked up by Adam Smith. He throws a check. Trying to come up with his Pat Horan, but he gets tied up and it's dumped back in behind. Here's a centering pass, but Labarge is there to break it up. He flips it high in the glass. It'll just roll. Not far enough for icing, but a good play to get it out of the zone. Here comes Williamsville North as they try to clear, and they get it out to center ice, but Horan's there to break it up. He'll flip it back inside Williamsville territory. North trying to clear the zone. Did they? They didn't. It's dumped back into the corner. Racing in after Jared Lanning. He can't come up with it. Around the boards it goes. Trent Thomas is there. Flips it ahead, intercepted, and back the other way. Oh, here's going to be a penalty. No? Oh, that should have been.
Never anticipate.
Lanning back the other way. His shot right on, and the rebound made by Rob Elmer. Back it goes. Evan Labarge's shot. Oh, Elmer was way out of position that time, but nope. There's a whistle behind the play, and there's going to be a tripping call against who? And is that a makeup call, perhaps?
It might be, although I think it's going to go against
Oh,
North.
no, it's not then.
25, Jacob Newton's going to get the call. It's going to be a tripping call. They did miss one. You know, Jerry, a club comes in, they've got 20, I think they've got 25 kids dressed here tonight. It's a non-league game. Defending state champion, you're up 4-0 with 4 minutes.
And you're dominating.
You're dominating. This is the first time that third unit's been out there.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Massena's been rolling 3.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know. Have we seen we've seen the fourth line a couple times. Now we've got the Rogers line out there on the power play. Off the face-off, there's a battle for it. Puck is cleared out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Evan Labarge. He'll dump it right back in. It bounces in behind the net. Picked up there by Kevin Dunn. Doesn't clear. Miller. Nice job to keep it in. Danny Miller with it. Takes it deep. Gets by 1, by 2. Slides it right out. Rebound. Puck is still free. But finally it's cleared out to center ice. And down the ice. Leroy's going to come out of his net to play it. He'll play it ahead to the blue line. It's poked out to center ice. Here comes Miller back the other way. Miller takes it across. Here's Miller stopping at the 45. Flipping or trying to back to the point. Evan Labarge winds up. His shot is blocked. Waited too long. And it's intercepted and dumped down the ice with about 45 seconds left in the man advantage. About 4 minutes left in the period. Raiders trail by 4. Oh, they almost coughed. They did cough up the puck, but Evan Labarge comes up and covers up. Here's Labarge with it. Draws a crowd, flips it ahead to Bellino. To Rogers. Rogers dumps it. Racing in after it is Kyle Cameron in behind. He's taken out of the play. Tubolino throws a check. Where's the puck? Can't find it. Now bounces around. It'll be dumped down the ice again by Williamsville North. Swamp. He'll play it into the corner. Bouncing around there. As Williamsville just looking to waste time, and they'll pretty much kill this penalty. And finally, the Raiders, Evan Labarge picks it up, dumps it free. The penalty elapsed, and Williamsville dumps it right back in the Massena zone. Labarge, as Tubolino takes a check right in front of the bench. Labarge flips it ahead to Cameron. Cameron can't control it. Here's a shot, a weak one right on, and the save made by Swamp.
Down to 3:11 in the period. 3 goals in this period, all by Williamsville North. I'll get it out. Joseph at the 13-second mark. Covell at 4:28, and Tyler Wassler at the 6:56. 2 4-on forward and 1 short-handed.
Leiden out there to take the face-off now. Rogers right back from Massena. He'll take the draw for the Raiders. Face-off left side in the Massena zone. 13:40 WMSA, Massena, New York. Alan Borden can't control it. It goes back to Ruck Daschel. At the point, his shot is blocked. And giving up the body, and that's Sean Petrie who blocked Ruck Daschel's shot. Ouch.
And that shot almost made the fan at the west end. It was about 5 feet short of hitting that fan. So that was up there a piece.
Rogers to face off against Leiden again. Off the draw. Puck controlled by Borden. He'll just bank it ahead. Trickles back into Williamsville territory. Picked up there by the defenseman Morrison, who dumps it all the way down the ice for icing, and we'll do it all over again. 2:50 left in the second period, and on the Coach's Corner scoreboard is 4-0 Williamsville North.
Raiders still working hard, though. I'm impressed with their work ethic out here. They've given up 4, but they've worked hard, and I'm impressed.
Face off left side. Inside Williamsville territory. Off the draw, the bouncer. Controlled by Massena momentarily as they tried to barge their way through, but it didn't work. Now it's cleared down in the Massena zone. Nice poke check by Miller, but he can't get it out of the zone. Here's the puck in front. Shot, score. Oh, boy. And that'll be picking up the goal, Ryan Leiden. Massena defenseman tried to get a stick on it and just couldn't handle it. It was gloved down by Lydon. He gloved it to himself, and I don't know if Leroy didn't look like he was ready. He didn't expect it to come in on him, and it just rolled in the net.
No, they're going across the crease on him, and they're getting Leroy with his feet stuck in cement there, and he's not coming across with him. But that all started up at the offensive blue line when they beat the defenseman up there to create the 2-on-1, and then he beat the second defenseman back here just inside the blue line.
Raiders have the puck in their own end. Danny Miller with it. He'll flip it ahead. Here comes Massena's Darling. Takes it across, trying to flip it free to Zepiogene. Puck in behind the net, picked up by Darling. Darling centers, but it's intercepted. And back out to center ice. No, it didn't clear the zone. Nice job. Darling winds up. His shot is blocked. It bounces wide to the blue line and out to center ice. Back in comes Kenny Joseph. Joseph knocked off the puck by Miller. Raiders clear it to the blue line. Back out to center ice. Dumped right back in, but Williamsville has to get onside. Raiders back out, back in. Miller turns it around. Geary keeps it in. Flips it in the corner. Bouncing puck in front. Whitcup gets knocked down. There's two penalties they didn't call right there. Raiders move it ahead, or try to. It's stolen in front. Here's the chance, and the shot fired up over the net. And again, the same thing you said.
He's going down way too soon. He's committing. They're holding on to the puck, and Leroy's committing. They're out waiting him. They've got plenty of time, no defenseman to harass him. They're going right across the crease, and they're waiting. And they make him make that first move. He starts going down, and then they just put it through that empty net. That youngster, I didn't get his number, but he missed the wide open net that time.
That's right. Danny Miller gets the penalty. I think it was holding. Interference, okay. So with 1:31 left in the period, Williamsville will go on the power play. Let's see what happens. Raiders try to clear the zone. Tubolino got a piece of it. It's knocked down in front. And finally, it's backhanded nicely on the backhand, high in the air by Pat Horan. Racing for Tubolino. Tubolino behind, delay penalty in Williamsville. Tubolino trying to control the puck. He still has it. Finally, Williamsville gets a stick on it, and that'll even things up. And that penalty's obstruction interference against Williamsville.
And that was hard work by H.A. Tubolino that caused the Williamsville player to interfere with them and take them off the power play. Good hard effort by A.J. As I said, they're down 5-0, but they haven't stopped skating, haven't stopped working. And this young club, regardless of the outcome, I'm sure the coaching staff are pleased with their effort through at least these first two periods.
Cousins gets the penalty for obstruction interference. And so it's 4-on-4, but that hasn't been good to the Raiders, 4-on-4. They've given up a couple of goals in that situation. Tubolino will take the draw, left side. Inside Williamsville territory. Trying to come up with it is Adam Smith. Smith to Tubolino. Tubolino throws a check, but the puck bounces free. And back comes Williamsville 3-on-2. Walzer trying to go by the Massena defenseman. Takes it in behind the net. Here's Walzer, still has it. He'll go back to the point. Dunn. His shot is blocked. Puck trickles out to center ice. Nice play by Smith, blocking the shot. Puck dumped back in the Massena zone.
That's the second or third time Adam Smith has done that, giving up the body. Great play.
Back to the point. Here's the shot by Dunn. The save made. Rebound. And that time Leroy got across. Puck bouncing back to Walzer at the point. He'll dump it in behind. And to Dunn. He cranks it. Shot saved. Big rebound. And they pass it back. It goes to Walzer. Walzer shot. Big save by Leroy. This time he steers the puck in the corner. Here's another shot. Puck cleared into the corner again after the save. And it looks like Williamsville's on the power play. And finally, Leroy makes the save and holds on.
I tell you, that was a shooting gallery out there. And the Spartan speed just allows them to roam at will down there, especially on the rush. They just blowing by the Raider defensemen, and if they're out deep enough, they'll cut in. If not, they'll go down in behind the net, and they just Massena can't contend with that speed.
We're down to 17 seconds in the period. 5-0. The Spartans lead Massena. And Trent Thomas out to take the draw from Massena. Wins the faceoff, but doesn't clear the zone. Here's a shot. Ooh, that deflected off a Massena defenseman. Whitcup goes in the corner. Whitcup throws a check, comes up with a puck, it slides side of the net, cleared back toward the blue line. Ruck Daschel winds up, his shot's wide, bounces in behind, in the corner. And the buzzer sounds. Good job by Jacob Whitcup tying up Nigro in front of the net.
Now that actually was Ian Maxwell.
Or was it Maxwell? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and...
well, North had one. Oh, no, that's from the previous one.
Yeah, so 16 seconds they'll go on the power play here. Ruck Daschle with a puck in his own end. He circles and flips it on the other side. And moving it out and into the Massena zone right back away from him was Walzer. Walzer moving back to play the point on the power play, as that is happening as of right now. Raiders steal the puck, however. Good job there by Sean Petrie. Wastes time, throws it away, and gets it back again and is dumped down the ice. As skating in was Covell, and he's just stepped in front of the clearing pass, so it almost cost Massena. Back it goes to center ice and down the ice. Nobody touched it. That's going to be icing against North and move the faceoff back inside their territory.
That line of Covell at center with Walzer on one side and Lydon on the other, boy, they have a lot of speed out there. They can really crank it up.
And they've had a lot of ice time tonight.
Yeah, they have. As we said, they went 1-2 through period and three quarters.
Off the faceoff, the puck controlled by Walzer. Being a little bit bothered by Kyle Cameron. Kyle gives up a little bit of size, I think, to this whole team.
Oh,
here's a hard check thrown there by Danny Miller. And the puck back. Oh, that's an offsides. They finally call it. A late whistle on the offsides. But back out to center ice it goes. Hard check by Miller.
Oh, Danny Miller just put a lick on Ruckdaschle. I tell you, caught him right at just inside the, outside the north blue line. Had him with his head down and got a couple of strides and really nailed him.
5-0 North leading Massena. Off the draw, the puck back to the red line. Here's Walzer again. He's going to carry it across. Trying to get by the Massena forward, Trent Thomas. Flips it ahead to Covell. In behind the net as they move it around. In behind, now it's flipped. It hit the official. And it goes bouncing in behind. Now it's Covell trying to backhand shot save. Leroy's going to cover up and hold on with 16 seconds left in the man advantage.
13:46 left in the third period. The Spartans got out to a 1-0 lead in that first period, and then four unanswered goals in the second to gain that 5-0 lead.
Lydon to take the face-off now. Massena's got Sean Petrie. Off the draw, the puck bounced in behind the net. Bouncing around, controlled by North, skating in front of backhander. And the save is made. Is coming from behind the net was, who is that?
Nigro, I do believe.
Nigro, yeah. Matt Nigro.
Right, gained control behind the net, walked right out in front, and good save by Leroy Swamp.
Off the draw, they win it again, dump it in behind. Again, they're looking to get the puck deep. Coming back is Trent Thomas to pick it up. Flips it around the corner, back to the point. Morrison keeps it in. Raiders get a man back. The puck is deflected up over the net. Leroy got a piece of it. Now the Raiders try to clear the zone and don't, but finally Evan Labarge will ice it. And down the ice it goes. We'll have a whistle and a face-off. So the Raiders weather the storm with the power play, although the puck stayed in their end most of that time.
Done a fairly decent job coming into tonight's game. They were the opposition 2 for 12 on the power play, 16%, and the Raiders killed off a couple here tonight.
Face-off inside Massena territory. Off the draw, Raiders control. Alan Borden flips it ahead, out to center ice, bouncing around. Hadler breaks by one, stops, nice move. Hadler keeps it in the corner. Jeremy Hadler, Lydon picks him up, knocks it away. It bounces back into the corner. Hadler again, trying to flip it around on the other side. It's going to come to Kochan. Moves it to the blue line, just trickles back out. Petrie gets hit from behind. Bouncing puck controlled by Hadler. He'll dump it right back in the zone again. In behind is the defenseman flipping it around for Williamsville North to the blue line. Trickles. Is it going to get out to center ice? It does. And here comes Lydon. He'll just dump into the Massena zone. In behind the net. Picked up there by Ian Maxwell. Maxwell flips it ahead for Rogers. Pokes it free. Knocking it away is Tubolino. Trying to go to Cameron, but Dunn is there to flip it back to the Massena line. Maxwell, high off the boards. Trickles back inside. North territory. They flip it ahead. Here's Kyle Cameron. Nice pass. Tubolino. Tubolino trying to get the shot off. No, he's going to pass it right across. And it's dumped back by Slade to the blue line. Kept in at the point. Knocking around. Slade gets tied up. We have a whistle. What's the whistle?
I think we're going to have penalties here, possibly to
we'll see.
A.J. Tubolino, and I'm not sure if no, I don't think North is going to get one.
Jacob Newton?
He was tied up with Newton, but just A.J. Tubolino.
No, that's Eddie Slade.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eddie Slade. Sorry, A.J. Eddie Slade is going to go
to
the
roughing?
box. Roughing call against Slade. But I think the Raiders have come out this period and a little more body action. They're really throwing their weight around up there. It's good to see that.
Danny Miller is asking why, they were both mixing it up there. And
yeah.
Miller's wondering, I'm sure, why there's just a penalty to Massena. But
I guarantee you'll lose that argument.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter. You talk for the next one, I guess. Isn't that what you say?
That's right.
You argue for the next call. Here's Miller with a puck, and he'll dump it deep. Inside Spartan territory. They'll start to move it ahead. Into the neutral zone it goes, bouncing around. And Ruckdaschel is there to dump it deep in Massena territory. Leroy Swamp will flip it in the corner. Oh, he lost his footing trying to get back in front of the net. Here's an opportunity as it goes back to Potansky at the blue line. His shot knocked down in front, and Swamp makes the save as it was bouncing around, and everybody was trying to put a stick on it. Koshansky did, but Swamp was there, and he couldn't get it by him.
And believe it or not, the Spartans had put out their third line for that power play, and looks like they're going to come back with maybe their fourth line.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait a minute here. Walzer's out there.
Oh, okay.
And Geary back out there. That didn't last very long. Geary's going to take the face off the draw, goes in behind the net. They battle for it there. Miller trying to tie up two, and the puck squirts free. Back to the blue line. Now here's the short side shot. Save made. Rebound bouncing around in the corner, and it's Tubolino coming up with it. Flips it ahead and out to the neutral zone. Kyle Cameron trying to come up with it. Walzer's there to flip it ahead. Now Tubolino picks it up and dumps it deep. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. That puck was bouncing around in front of the net like a rubber ball. Now Joseph loses the puck momentarily. Geary's there to follow up and take it across. Here's Geary in behind the net, around the boards, back to the point. Here's a shot, deflected in front. The rebound, they score. That's going to be Kochan getting the goal with 12 seconds left of the man advantage, so they score a power play goal.
Kochan on the rebound, and I'm not sure if it was Geary that came around that net, did all the work, zoomed in on that right side, in behind, and threw it out in front. There was a save by Leroy, but the rebound came right back out to Kochan, and he drilled one from about 15 feet and beat Leroy right between the 5-hole. So that makes it 6-0. And that was that a power play? We're not sure.
That was a power play. Covell stays out there, but we see Smith playing the point first time tonight for Williamsville North. He'll be paired with Kevin Dunn. Smith he's probably the smallest kid on this team. He's about the size of most of the Massena players.
Right.
And he's got the puck. Flips it ahead, out to center ice. Right back comes Covell into the Massena zone. Trying to pick it up there for the Raiders is Petrie. Petrie loses it behind the net. And around the boards it goes. Leiden with it, centering it back to Smith. Winds up, his shot's blocked. Out by the blue line, and Raiders Hadler moves it out to center ice. Leiden back to pick it up. He circles back into his own end. He'll flip over on the other side to Dunn. And right back comes Covell into the zone. Gets by one, gets by two, drops it. Here's a shot, and they score another goal. As Covell had two Massena defensemen on him, and he just shoveled it over to Ryan Leiden, and Leiden beat Massena goaltender Leroy Swamp, and it's 7-0.
And the back-checking forward elected to put a lick on Covell also, and that allowed Leiden to pick up that centering pass, and Leroy got a piece of it, but not enough, and it just rolled up over that left shoulder and in behind him.
It was a 2-on-2 that became a 1-on-none.
That's right.
Because both Massena back checkers took the same man. Hard check thrown there by Smith. As Raiders try to control the puck, it's dumped back to their own line. Danny Miller with it. Miller in his own end. Flips it ahead. Trent Thomas trying to move it on the wing. Jared Bradish, but it's dumped across the blue line, Massena zone. Bradish back after it, battling for it. Comes to Trent Thomas. He'll backhand it to the Williamsville North zone. 7-0 the score in favor of Williamsville North. Raiders move it back the other way. Bradish trying to drop it to Jake Whitcup, but it's intercepted and dumped in the corner. Massena zone. Whitcup has to come back after it. Here's Whitcup ripping it around the boards. Bradish has it knocked away. Now Miller throws a check. The bouncing puck controlled by North. It hits the official. Dumped in behind again. Battling to the blue line. Hard check thrown by Bradish. Where's the puck? Back to the point. Kept in there. Here's the drive. and it's gloved by Leroy Swamp, and he'll hold on for the faceoff. That coming from Nathan Ruckdashel. 7-0 the score.
All of the defensemen for the North Club that they put out there possess pretty potent shots, but that Bennett and Dunn and Ruckdashel, or Ruckdashel as you call him. Yeah,
Tom Gehrig.
Yeah, might have got him high sticking. No, he's going to call him roughing right at the end. Little extracurricular activity after the whistle. So
Massena will go back on the power play. Last time I think they had a power play. They gave up a shorthanded goal, so let's hope that they're a little more careful here. 9:28 left in the third period, 7-0 in favor of Williamsville North on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. And I don't think Massena's had a shot on net in this period.
13 penalties last year, and we've reached that mark tonight. 13 penalties for both clubs.
Yes, sir. Okay. Williamsville South over Canton 4-0. Thank you. Here comes Massena's Darling trying to center it, but it's knocked away. And the puck goes back to the blue line. It's dumped down the ice. Alan Borden after it for Massena. So Williamsville South beats Canton 4-0. Raiders try to bounce it ahead. It'll come trickling into the north zone. They'll flip it, and down the ice it goes.
That'll give you an indication what Massena's going to face tomorrow.
Yeah.
Canton's got a good club.
Yeah, they do. So it's going to be a tough one for him tomorrow, too. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier, that's for sure. Here comes Darling with it, flips it ahead. Knocked away by to Petrie, and Petrie has it go off him all the way down the ice. Borden to pick it up. Borden's going to skate it ahead himself. Slides it all the way down to the Williamsville line, and it's dumped right back in the Massena line and down the ice. Danny Miller back after it. He'll pick it up and skate out of the zone. Here's Miller, makes a couple of moves. He's got some room, takes it across. Here's Miller, gets a shot off. It's deflected up into the screen by Morrison, and we'll have a face-off with 22 seconds left in the Massena power play.
Captain Danny Miller in that patented end-to-end rush of his, and great skater, a lot of speed out there, good stick skills, and waltzed right in and tried to use the defenseman as a screen that time, and it hit the defenseman and deflected up over the glass at the far end.
Rogers to take the face-off for Massena. Off the draw. Puck controlled by the Raiders. Here's Evan Labarge, and he fired it just wide. Puck goes back to Miller. Can he keep it in at the blue line? He does. Takes it in the corner. Centering pass in front. Shot. Rebound. Shot. Another save on Trent Thomas. Puck sits in the slot, and it's cleared out. Best chance Massena's had in probably 10 or 15 minutes. Leroy Swamp will play the puck. He loses it, and I'm not sure what he was thinking of, but he just held on to the puck and waited for the North forward to come right in on him and just stood there.
Leroy thought he was a defenseman. He thought he had Danny Miller's stick skills, and he's got to work on that move a little bit, I'll tell you.
Because Kashansky was coming in on him, and I don't know if he froze or he just did nothing.
He just gave him a head fake, and Kashansky didn't take the head fake. He took the puck.
Off the face-off. Puck controlled. The penalty is elapsed, by the way. Williamsville North controls it. Tubolino's in there trying to come up to Cameron. Cameron to the blue line. Dunn dumps it in the corner. We got a man coming out of the corner. Walsh fires it wide. Walzer, rather, not Walsh. And the Raiders look to move it ahead. They can't get it out of the zone. And it's stolen. Now finally Tubolino comes up with it. He'll break ahead. Tubolino 3-on-2. Tubolino takes it across. He'll drop to Kyle Cameron. Winds up. It's gloved. Bounces in front. Defenseman trying to come up with it. And it's finally knocked away into the corner. High in the air. Hard check thrown there. The bouncer out to center ice. Oh, here comes Williamsville North again. Joseph goes by the defense. And finally he's tripped up. And the puck taken away by Kyle Cameron. Raiders dodged a little bit of a penalty there. Back to Dunn. He winds his shot. Leroy makes the save and holds on for the faceoff. And again, the Massena defenseman, instead of going to the puck, backs up. And I'm sure he could have beaten the forward to the puck.
Well, those are decisions they have to make, and they have to make them in a split moment. And sometimes you make the right decision, and sometimes you don't. And that goes in the latter category, I think.
I guess maybe it was the right decision because they didn't score.
Okay.
I don't know. But I think he could have beaten him to the puck. Back to Morrison. He centers it, but it's knocked away. Alan Borden. Nice headman pass. Here comes Jared Lanning. He'll just dump it in the Williamsville North zone. Puck in behind the net. Massena playing their fourth line, or I don't know what color they are, but getting a chance to play here. But a puck bounces out to center ice. Into the zone comes Williamsville North. Puck slides right on Swamp, and he'll cover up and hold on for the faceoff. 6:38 left in the third period. 7-0, Williamsville North leading Massena.
And Raiders, great scoring opportunity just a moment ago. Trent Thomas, the side of the net, couldn't jam it in. But that all started with a great draw by David Rogers, who's won a lot of them in the last few games.
Off the faceoff, puck goes back to the point. Here's a shot. Swamp makes the save and holds on. That shot coming from Morrison at the left point.
That's something you don't want to see, the opposition winning the draw clearly like that, right back to the point and cranked it up from the point.
This time the Raiders win the draw. Comes ahead and they move it to the blue line, but it does come out to center ice. Here comes Darling in on the off wing. Backhand pass in front. Oh, great opportunity, and Lanning just couldn't put a stick on it. Great pass by Darling. He's got the puck into the circle, back to the point. Here's a drive by Borden. Shot, save, and the puck goes into the corner. Bouncing free, finally is cleared, but not out of the zone. Into the slot, but now it's going to be iced. Will it go far enough for icing? Yeah, no, they wave it off at the last second as Borden did kind of lackadaisical a little bit. And now he has the puck stolen away. Man in front, deflected right on. Rebound cleared back, not out. Here's a drive, Ruck Daschel. Save made. Where's the rebound? It's underneath Leroy, and he'll hold on for the faceoff.
At number 22, Nathan Rekdashel or Ruckdashel. It's the same guy. Jerry calls it one way, and I'm calling it the other. But what a shot he's got. And he stepped down from that right point and put everything into that. That was just a laser, and I don't know how Leroy saw it, but he was able to pick it up.
Yes, sir. Oh, no kidding. Clarkson ties Ohio State. That's great. Okay, here comes Massena. Back into the zone, an opportunity, and they couldn't put a stick on it. Miller now flips it in front, but Petrie couldn't. Yes, he does. He's got it. Back to Miller at the point. His shot deflected in behind the net. And we have a whistle. Yeah, I thought there was a whistle, but the play continued. And I'm not sure they're going to, what is it?
High stick.
Controlling with a high stick. They'll move the faceoff back inside Massena territory.
And Raiders on a bit of a rush there. They were all over the North Club and had them running around, but unfortunately for them, it was controlled by a high stick. I didn't see it, but the official made the call, and I'm sure it was the right call.
I hear a whistle, and
yes,
then
you did.
Yeah, and play kept going.
Well, it's just because they were so enthused down there. The Raiders had the puck, and they were just all fired up, and I heard it.
Up the face-off. Puck sits in the circle, bouncing around. They fish around for it. Finally, it's dumped into the corner, and Rogers picks it up. Nice headman pass. Here comes Hadler, nice move at the blue line, trying to slide it in, but it's going to bounce over somebody's stick right to the goalie. And Robbie Elmer puts the glove on it.
And there's Jeremy again looking to pass, and he's got guys going to the net. He's just inside that blue line again. With that shot of his, he should be driving that to the net because he had a couple of guys, Rogers or number 18, that's Petrie, going to that net on that left side. Get that shot in there, get a rebound, pick up the rebound.
Here's a shot. It bounces in front. And finally, it's cleared back to the blue line, not out of the zone, kept in by the Massena defenseman, Patrick Horan. Now there's a battle for it. Smith gets knocked down. The puck bounces center ice. Horan with it. Bangs it ahead, but it's intercepted by, offsides as Nigro took it in across with, I think that was Evans ahead of the play. 4:58 left in the third period. 7-0, Williamsville North leading Massena.
I'd like to see the Raiders get on the board here. This game is there's no doubt about the outcome, because they've deserved a goal. They've worked hard, even though they're down by 7. They're still working hard and had some good opportunities here in the third.
Off the face-off, puck trickles, didn't get in the zone. Now Walzer will dump it in behind the net, and it's picked up there by Patrick Horan. Horan flips it, trying to clear the zone. Raiders move it ahead, bouncing to the blue line, and out to center ice it goes. Adam Smith with it. They're starting to put a little more authority on those clearing passes, which is a good thing. Now the bouncing puck controlled by Massena behind the net. Jared Bradish flips it along the boards, intercepted, comes out to the blue line, bounces high over everybody, and rolls into the Massena zone. After it, it's picked up by Labarge. He'll start out. Evan Labarge lost it off the end of his stick, but it did make it out to center ice. Covell drops it back in his own end. It'll come right in on Elmer, and he'll leave it for his defenseman as they move it from D to D and start out right side. Here's a long headman pass. They got it right on the stick. Covell's going to break in all by himself, shoots, and the save made, and a good one by Leroy Swamp. Now a hard check thrown there by Jared Bradish. Massena breaks the other way. Tubolino 1-on-3. Now 1-on-4. He still got it. Stick handles through 1, 2. Waits, looking for somebody to pass to. He's finally taken out of the play. And now finally Cameron comes in there to help him tie it up. But I'll tell you, Tubolino was all by himself.
And what a great pass for the North Club, their defenseman. They spotted Covell, that speedy center, down that left side. And deep in that right corner, put it right on the tape just here at the red line. And he just sped by the, had a half a step on the Raider defenseman who was by him, and a second walked right in. And Leroy came up with a big save.
Hey, we see the Gehrig line out there. Off the faceoff, Massena wins the draw, Cameron, but he can't get the shot off. And back the other way comes Morrison, ahead to Gehrig, but it rolls past him inside Massena territory. Alan Borden, nice move, moves it ahead, flips it to the blue line, and out to center ice it goes. Here comes Massena, and the shot taken by Eddie Slade, and the save made by goaltender Robbie Elmer.
And Eddie takes exception to number 23 out there, Brett Calm, who gave him a little shot, and Eddie retaliated. He's Eddie Slade, only an 8th grader, but he's a good size. Let's see what it is.
And he plays hard.
Yes, he does.
Off the face-off, the shot taken. That was Jared Lanning, but it's wide. In the corner, hard check thrown again. Massena trying to put a little pressure on here. Oh, hard check again thrown. There's a battle. The puck slides in the circle, and finally it's Gehrig out to center ice. To the Massena line, picked up by Darling. He'll flip it ahead. Here comes Zepi Ogene. Ogene tries to slide it, but it's knocked away from him and goes up into the Massena bench. And we'll have a face-off with 2:57 left in the third period as Williamsville North leads Massena 7-0.
And the Raiders are not losing many battles along the boards. They're out in that open ice. They've battled them hit for hit, and they've skated right with them in this third period.
Mark Darling with the face-off, wins the draw to Zepi Ogene, drops it back to Danny Miller. Miller starts up. He'll flip it ahead. He has Darling at the blue line, who takes it in, makes the move in front. Zepi drops it back to Darling. His shot. Oh, that's just wide. They couldn't quite get a stick on it to get a good shot off, but they moved it in nicely. It's done in behind his own net for Williamsville North. He's going to take it ahead. Darling steals the puck. Here's Darling with it. Looks to center. Nobody expected that, though, so the Raiders are going the other way. Here's a chance for Zepi Ogene, the Darling, and he deflects it in behind the net. Puck picked up by the North defense, and they dump it down the ice, and that's going to just roll in right on Leroy Swamp. He'll make the save and leave it ahead for Jake Whitcup. Whitcup starts out of his own end, flips to Miller. Miller will just dump from the red line deep in Williamsville territory. Here's Hadler with it. Hadler steps by the check. In the corner, bounces free on the other side. Rogers trying to come up with it. It's knocked to the blue line, kept in by Labarge. Now it bounces out to center ice. He'll drop it over on the other side. And it's Horan flipping ahead to Hadler, who dumps it deep in Williamsville territory. In behind the net it goes. Picked up there by Petrie. Petrie goes to Rogers. Rogers, nice center. Hadler shoots! And the save made on the shoulder by goaltender Rob Elmore. Quick wrist shot by Hadler. And we're down to 139, and for the last 3 or 4 minutes, the Raiders have had their way.
Good opportunity from a tough angle. Sean Petrie won the battle on the boards behind the net and shoveled it out to Jeremy Hadler from a tough angle on the left side, but he rang one off the shoulder of the goaltender.
Off the draw. Here's the shot right on by Labarge. The save made. Rebound Hadler can't lift it, and the puck bounces back toward the blue line. Out to center ice it goes. Uh-oh, here we go. Is Leroy going to play it? He didn't make up his mind. Finally plays it ahead toward the blue line. It's deflected in behind the net by Labarge as he almost put it right on. Now the puck's stolen away. Rogers flips to the blue line and out to center ice. Just over a minute to go in the third period. Puck dumped back into the Massena zone. That'll be icing. No?
It should have been.
Should have been icing. Well, that's okay. At this point of the game, why call it? You're right. Okay, here comes Massena breaking out of their own end. Rogers flips it ahead to the Massena line, dumped right back in the corner. Evan Labarge after it. The one thing about a goalie, you got to commit one way or the other.
Hesitate and you are lost, and Leroy hesitated about 3 times. Should I? Yes. No. Yeah, maybe. I know. He dodged a bullet there.
Yes, he did.
But he deserves to have a little indecision here in the last minute because he's been peppered with a lot of rubber here tonight.
But you know what? This is the kind of game that makes goaltenders better because it really gives them an opportunity to see a lot of shots.
It sure does.
Here's Maxwell flipping it ahead. Off Lanning's stick, Jared steers it in the corner, dumped back toward the blue line, kept in. Here's a shot, deflects in behind the net with 30 seconds left. Back out in the slot. Here's a chance in front. They can't get a shot off, and it's dumped out to center ice. Maxwell after it. He'll pick it up, turn it around, off the glass, off the boards out to center ice. Almost got his teammates on the bench. Here comes Massena's Alan Borden. He'll dump from the red line. In behind with about 10 seconds left. Puck around the boards to the blue line. Borden, did he keep it in? Now it trickles out to center ice now. Into the Massena zone and up into the Massena bench. Off a stick with 7 seconds left. So 7-0 looks like it will be the final. And I'll tell you, Coach, I'm not that disappointed with the way Massena's played tonight.
No, you say, how can you be 7-0? But they battled every inch of the way against a very, very good Williamsville North club.
I'm thinking myself they're having a much better game than they had Wednesday night.
Well, they showed a little more hustle out there, I'll tell you.
Yep. And with 3 seconds left, puck back in the Williamsville zone. The buzzer sounds, and Williamsville North defeats Massena on a score of 7-0. But not a bad game for a very young Raiders squad against a team that's probably going to challenge for the state championship.